Hi everyone, Frank Zanca here, and I hope you're having an awesome week. I just wanted to give my review of Unsane. I saw Unsane a few days ago, and I am not sure how I felt about it. As a low-budget producer myself, I saw the merits in the plot being very contained, and I respect that, and I respect contained films. Again, to get a movie like Thoroughbreds, I think pulled it off very well. Being very small amount of locations. However, this is directed by Soderbergh, and for some reason Soderbergh likes to infuse the look of the film in these weird washes, because he did that in Traffic, where all of the scenes were kind of washed with certain colors, where here he made him look like a documentary. He specifically wanted to go with like a documentary style look. So right when you're sitting down and watching the film, you don't feel like you're watching a film. You feel like you're watching a documentary with actors in it. So it took a little while for me to adjust to that, because right off the bat it just screams low budget, even without the film may or may not be low budget. He specifically goes for a low budget feel, and I do not understand that. I do not understand why he specifically makes a film look lower budget than it is. So it's a bit grainy. I know he was looking for something to do like a bit of a horror feel to it, a little bit of a thriller feel. So he went with this grainy, gritty type of look, and to tell you the truth, I would have preferred a regular film look. There's plenty you could do with lighting without putting this kind of a grainy lens or washing something out. Anyway, some people might like that, but for me it took me out of the film more than putting me in it. The one thing I can tell you about his directing style is he does create empathy for his characters, as much as his characters might be overwritten or over exaggerated, and that's, I felt a lot of this film was over exaggerated, especially if you're looking for a documentary type feel, and then you have an over exaggerated characters. The film also has a huge plot hole, which I'll discuss in spoilers. But let's go into the actual plot of the film. So the plot of the film is that the main character, played by Clair Foy, who was originally, I guess I saw her in Crossbones, but is now in The Crown, which I think a lot more people have seen. I personally haven't seen The Crown. I know it's on my to-watch list, but I haven't seen any of it yet. But obviously it's good because it's getting a lot of accolades, and obviously Clair Foy is a established actor, so I'm not. There's nothing really wrong with any of the acting in this film, including Juno Temple. So Juno Temple's been in a bunch of stuff, and she's very good in the film too. She plays a little bit more of a whacked out psychiatric person. But anyway, Clair Foy, she's trying to get ahead in this bank job that she has, and instead she is committed. So accidentally, and it kind of brings up a good point. I think the film brings up good social issues about insurance. About how the the established mental hospitals or any kind of hospitals get to leech off insurance, and they purposely commit people to use the insurance up, and then when that's up, then of course you're cured, and you can go on your way. So, yay, I'm cured. There's no more money. You're gone. So anyway, she's committed, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happens to her throughout the film, and a lot of it, she's the cause of it as well. So, but anyway, that's kind of the plot. Is that it takes place in this mental hospital with a main character that we may or may not have empathy for or trust as far as being a narrator. So, and I'll discuss the plot hole in a minute as well, but that's, so as far as the film is concerned, after that, and I don't want to go into the spoilers of why, again, I kind of disliked parts of it. So there's parts that I liked, and again, I liked the fact that it was contained, and you had to use, the writer had to use his brain to really figure out how to keep the story moving inside of such a enclosed space. And her mother, played by Amy Irving, has to try to come and help her, and even she gets kind of stonewalled, and things like that. And of course, again, I'll discuss some of the other stuff in spoilers. But overall, again, I'm kind of up in the air about the movie. I think it's more of a watch on Netflix or a DVD type of film. I wouldn't really go to a theater to see it because there's really no reason to see it on a big screen, considering it's a documentary type of feel to begin with. There's no grandioseness to it in the least. So I'm gonna give it a 6. If 5 is average, it's maybe 5.5. It's a little bit above average, but nothing beyond that. It doesn't really, you don't really go away from it singing woohoo or boy that was very an insightful or thought-provoking film or anything like that. It's purely somebody playing with some actors and playing with a look and feel, playing in this low-budget world. And Soderbergh started some great stuff, but he prefers to work in this medium right now, and that's this is what he's coming away with. Again, working with some great actors and getting some great performances, but not making a film really that stands out in any particular way. But I'll jump into spoilers here right now. Okay, so let's discuss some of the spoilers for Unsane. So the plot twist happens because Clair Foy's character, her name is Sawyer. She was being stalked at one time. So she was trying to escape that, and she moved and things to that effect, so she had this stalker. So as soon as she's committed into the mental institution, that night she's forced to take pills and things like that for a ration of pills. So the person that's handing out the pills to all these people, she immediately freaks out and says, "Oh my God, it's my stalker, blah blah blah." And the head doctor is like, "No, his name is this, and we did a checkup on him, and blah blah blah, and it's not him." So naturally, the audience is like, "Oh, maybe she is crazy. She's seeing this guy everywhere." Because even in the beginning of the film, she sees, she freaks out once she's on a date. She takes the date back home with her with the intent of having sex, and she basically freaks out and runs away because she saw him in this guy, or I don't know if she just had it in her head or whatever. They don't really explain it. But anyway, she's freaked out by the stalker, and then she ends up seeing him at the mental institution. So the audience thinks that it's not really him. And I kept waiting for the twist where it wasn't him, but it ends up that it really is him. So so he's now in the mental institution with her under an assumed name, and he's professing his love to her, and she's trying to figure out how to get away from him, where she has no choice but to be together. And of course, he's able to find out things about her, so he tracks down the mother and kills her, and he basically becomes a serial killer on top of everything else. And then she tries to manipulate him enough where she could make her escape. So my big problem with the plot is that it insinuates that he knew that she was going to go to the psychiatrist that commits people to a certain hospital prior to her knowing. So I don't understand that. So as I was going on, where they actually were going for the fact that he was really there, how could he possibly know that she was going to get committed to this particular hospital for him to create a whole other persona digitally, and never said that he was any kind of a computer hacker, or that he could create his own new backstory and have it legitimized so where somebody does a background check, it pops up. And then on top of that, him knowing that she's going to be committed so that he can be there to give her her pills. It just made no sense. So throughout the entire film, I was just doing one of these. It just didn't sit with me, and it kind of ruined the film for me. So even if I was going after and watching the performances, and I was okay with his documentary style look and feel of the film, this huge plot hole inside the twist made the film disjointed. So, because there's no possible way that he could have predicted that she was going to get put away, that she was going to talk about, suicidal thoughts to the psychiatrist, who was going to in turn commit her. There was just no way. So it was just so coincidental that it didn't make the film work. So yeah, that's my problem there, and I'm sure that if you saw the film, you're probably thinking the same thing. I'd like you to comment below to see if I'm the only one who. Was there something that was explained that I just may have missed? Although I can't see that there was. It just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, the plot is coincidental, and it presses the fact that this would occur, and basically makes the audience no, it's okay. You don't have to feel stupid. Just ignore the guy behind the curtain. It's one of those. Just let it go. So, but anyway, again, I think the cast did a good job. If you're going to look for performances, but otherwise, it's a traditional. The setting of it we've seen 100 times before, that a person gets committed, and is now, I don't belong here. These people are all crazy, blah blah blah, and I'm not, and now I'm locked up with a serial killer. who had some kind of a ESP knowledge of the future, that I was going to be sent here before I did, and structured himself to get a job to the point where he was there probably for weeks or months before she showed up, because the rest of the of his co-workers felt very comfortable with him. So that only happens if you're there for a while. So anyway, that's another reason that I definitely suggest you just see it on Netflix or wherever you see videos on your home television. Anyway, that's my review, and I kind of sticking, now that I even more think about it, I'm sticking with the 5.5. It's a little bit better than average type of film. It's not an awful film, but it does make you kind of put the blindfold on, definitely in that plot hole, and others as well, but that's the big one. Anyway, hope that helps if deciding whether you're going to see it or not. And of course, I always I go to see movies no matter what. So if it's bad, it's good. I just like being in a theater and supporting film and independent film and studio film and etc. And I hope that you all feel the same way, because it puts plenty of people to work, and on top of that, people struggle to be filmmakers their whole lives, me included, and it's a tough road. So to get anything on the screen, is definitely an achievement. So it definitely deserves support, no matter what it is. Okay, and so have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.